Fires it out for Collins. He's got it. One play, touchdown, Texans. 75 yards to start the night for number 7.
January 8th, 2023. Houston Texans quarterback Doug Mills takes a sack on third down late in the fourth quarter in a Week 18 divisional matchup against the Indianapolis Colts.
Mills buried!
This failed third down seemingly guaranteed the Houston Texans the 2023 number 1 overall pick in the draft, which NFL fans all already knew would be Bryce Young, regardless of which team landed the top pick. And then a miracle happens. Doug Mills with one of the clutchest plays of the season on a pass to tight end Jordan Akins for a touchdown.
It's the end zone, and it is caught! Oh my word.
But the game isn't over yet. The Texans would need a successful 2-point conversion on top of their touchdown to lose out on the number 1 pick.
Watch him over the middle. Who will pick first in the draft? Mills to the end zone, it's caught! Akins!
And Doug Mills to Jordan Akins converts for 2. This play loses the Texans the number 1 draft pick just to push their record to 3 wins, 13 losses, and a tie on the season. Texans fans everywhere were distraught and angry at this team for selfishly winning one useless game that did nothing for the franchise beyond damaging their draft position. So Houston wins this game, loses out on the consensus top draft pick in Bryce Young, and yet again, there is seemingly no end in sight for the suffering of this Texans fan base. Fast forward 1 year to January 6th, 2024. The same Texans team is playing that same Colts team, but this time around, the squad is competing to win not just the game, but a division title and a playoff berth. Because they have a rookie quarterback having one of the greatest seasons of all time, in Coleridge Bernard Stroud IV. If the Texans win this game, they go to the playoffs as division champions. But if they lose, they go home and extend their playoff drought that began in 2019. And halfway through a tied fourth quarter, CJ Stroud drives the Texans all the way down the field, and Devin Singletary punches it in for a touchdown. This time, the Texans' score is met with thunderous applause from an enthusiastic fan base swarming Indianapolis. The Colts would not score again today, and the Texans will take home the AFC South Division crown. Out of all the Texans coaches and players doing tremendous jobs this season, there's one man playing at a generational level in just his rookie season who has turned this franchise around from contending to be the worst team in the league to a team winning playoff games, even in a disastrous, injury-riddled season where the entire offensive line had missed multiple games. One game, the team's first 7 offensive lineman choices were injured and out. This man has dominated defenses and brought a collapsing team together to not only stay respectable and competitive this season, but to win a damn playoff game. Immediately upon entering the NFL, CJ Stroud has forced himself into the upper echelon of NFL quarterbacks. Like any rookie, he still has a handful of shortcomings and things to improve on, but in a season where so many veteran quarterbacks have struggled to achieve expectations, Stroud has met and surpassed even the most delusionally hopeful Texans fans' wildest dreams about what this season could be. Let's start by taking a look at CJ's passing yards. He ranks 8th out of all NFL quarterbacks this year, but that total passing yards, while a great indicator that CJ is having a great season, doesn't tell you the whole story. So let's take a deeper look at CJ Stroud's air yards. That is the distance a pass travels in the air before hitting a receiver's hands. Total passing yards are much more of a team stat as they include yards after the catch, so let's check out how many yards he's actually throwing the ball to his receivers. CJ Stroud is actually creating the 4th most passing yards for his offense through his air yards. While established stars like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Brock Purdy have more total yards, they are being elevated more by their receivers' yards after the catch, while Stroud is creating more yards in the air. That says to me, Stroud is creating a higher amount of yards than all but 3 quarterbacks in the league, which is just remarkable for a rookie to even be in the same tier for that kind of statistic with established long-term stars like Josh Allen, Mahomes, Dak Prescott. Many quarterbacks are able to perform quite well on first and second down while the defense isn't fully dedicated to rushing the passer, but are unable to stand in the pocket on third downs and confidently push the ball downfield. While many young quarterbacks are trying to survive third downs, as you'll very often see less developed quarterbacks pad their numbers by checking down for a short completion, CJ Stroud does not do that. That is part of the reason why I think CJ Stroud is having such tremendous numbers on third down.
Here goes Stroud, downfield and caught. Schultz. Now you call.
His completion percentage on third is below average, which to me is a positive statistic, because as mentioned, there are many quarterbacks checking down for a completion, boosting your percentage but not picking up any yards on third down. CJ Stroud sacrifices that check down stuff for passes that consistently hit a receiver beyond the first down marker. Certainly a lower completion percentage throw, but a much higher third down conversion percentage throw. And I love it. Of course, not every Stroud third down is going to convert, but I think he always gives his team a fantastic chance because of how he pushes the ball downfield so consistently. You can see this mindset evidenced in CJ's total third down passing yards. Only 3 quarterbacks in the whole league have more yards on this crucial down in Stroud's rookie season. And if you're wondering how efficiently Stroud is picking up those yards, look at this chart showing third down attempts in light blue, catchable passes in yellow, completions in dark blue, and dropped passes in green. You can see Stroud actually has all of his third down yards on a very efficient 91 completions, showing me that CJ is pushing the ball downfield on third down more than most quarterbacks, and doing so more efficiently than most quarterbacks, and doing a great job at creating huge gains, firmly putting himself into the conversation with many of the league's best quarterbacks, and surpassing many established stars. As I mentioned earlier, this Texans offensive line barely had anybody healthy the whole season, and that led to CJ being sacked at a very high rate. In the second half of games this year, CJ Stroud was sacked at the 4th highest rate of any quarterback in the NFL. However, through that adversity, Stroud somehow navigated those collapsing pockets and pressure well enough to end up tied for the very least number of interceptions in the second half of games, with only 3 the entire season. Collapsing pockets and poor protection typically exacerbate young quarterbacks' flaws, but with Stroud, you can see he is taking the heat like a seasoned veteran, protecting the ball at an elite rate, and continuing to elevate an offense that otherwise would just be collapsed with injuries. And if you're still not convinced, check this out. CJ Stroud is tied for 4th most in the NFL with 8 fourth quarter touchdowns. To me, the takeaway from these charts is that CJ Stroud is being pressured and sacked at an extremely high rate due to offensive line injury, while throwing the least amount of crucial interceptions and throwing touchdowns in the 4th quarter at an elite rate. And the best part about all of this, it's just his very first season.
6, he's in for the touchdown!
Stroud to the end zone, touchdown! Tank Dell! CJ Stroud leads a magical drive!
And he takes him down, 46, 2 timeouts.
Stroud, jab step, downfield, he hits Nico Collins! Brought down! Another big play for the Texans through the air.